a little stint from their new single, which is called, I have to check, yes, Dance with the Devil. So what we're going to do now is
sounds risque.
I'm going to share screen, and remember this time to actually share computer sound so you can hear it as well.
There you go.
Yes. Yeah. And we're going to listen to a little bit of how Soldier's new song.
Before you hit play.
Yeah.
Hi Dean. Hi Angel. Hi Stuart. Hi Brennan and Vanessa. Thanks for watching, guys. How y'all doing? Hit it, Jack.
All right. So this is Soldier, Dance with the Devil. So yeah, we're back. That's Sorcerer Dance with the Devil, and what we hope is that they're also going to agree to come on our little music special and tell us a bit about their new album, which is set to release in the end of May.
Dope.
And of course, what we're going to do as soon as we release this is that we're going to post links, of course, to Sorcerer and their YouTube page and their Facebook page and their homepage. They got really, really awesome merch as well.
The first thing I noticed about that song was the fuzz on that guitar, that opening little bit that you played. That was awesome.
Yeah, it's dirty
on the guitar.
It's dirty as shit, and he plays on a solar guitar as well, which is all that England. Mark, he's a big YouTube guy who does breakdown of different gear and stuff. You might want to check his out. That is his own brand of guitars, which is really rad.
Nice.
Every boy's dream to have your own guitar.
Well, yeah, and not only that, but having your own like YouTube channel where you get to nerd it out about guitars for like an hour and a half every week.
Well, funny story. You may know that my favourite band is the band Muse, and Matt Bellamy from Muse used to get his guitars made for him by a guy called Hugh Manson. And then Matt Bellamy got so rich that he bought Hugh Manson out, and he now owns Manson Guitar Works. So he owns the people that built his guitars in the first place. That's full circle.
Really?
I want that sort of money.
Very nice.
Yeah, he did.
I do believe, ladies and gentlemen, that within a short few seconds, we're going to have a very special entry into this chat. What we're going to do when he gets here is that we're actually going to let
Mike is
him.
dying. Mikey's got the Roni.
He did a thing again.
For those who can't see, Mikey is coughing his guts up on his feed.
I tried to mute myself. And Jartan hit it at the same time and it turned back on.
Yep.
You guys are doing great.
Awesome.
This is so professional.
This is the Bin Podcast, everybody. This is how we do it.
So the reason it's called the bins because we're rubbish.
I wish I could argue.
You got it.
No, you're contributing to it. You're compounding it.
Oh, I'm definitely part of it.
Well, it's not really rubbish, is it?
No, it's just a group of people from around the world getting together, talking about the news, what's going on in the world, and doing it from a layman's term as opposed to experts who we have on. We have them on to educate us and to educate our listeners, and we all freely admitted that we know fuck all.
Yep.
Yep.
That's why we have doctors on here,
Yep.
because we don't know enough about medical science right now, so we have our doctors on and we ask them questions, and then we get gems like chickens.
Yeah. And if anyone's got any questions about Uber Eats, we have a resident expert.
Okay.
Jesus Christ. Oh, yeah. No, but like when other like web shows have experts on, they have like people who don't really have any real scientific background within the field that they're talking about. Like, I saw
And
this
you would definitely know because of the arguments you've been having online.
Yeah, as you're saying, should we touch on that a little bit, because that's quite an interesting subject.
I don't think that we should. I don't think that we should. We're gonna have to ask permission first.
Okay, no worries. Oh, it's so juicy though.
I know. It makes such good content.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would be, but
See, then we can have like screenshots going, and we can have animation.
Now-
like we can
Okay,
make this
okay.
thing.
Put the name in our private chat that we can see, and then I'm the tiebreaker, and we'll see what happens.
yeah, I just put it in there.
Oh, okay.
Right, no, but
We'll give it a
we
week.
could talk about-
We'll give it a week.
Yeah,
we,
right.
we could talk about this in a sort of general way, because a lot of times you have in the media, you have these talking heads and these so-called experts come up on the news, and no one really tests them. You know, you have like Nigel Farage, for instance. He comes up and he talks about immigration, obviously, and he starts quoting certain things, and he just cites it. Oh, this is what the general consensus is. And because the media, because he's obviously he's box office, they just let him say what he wants, and no one really pushes back. And unfortunately, a lot of these people, people that are box office, get booked on a lot of these high-profile shows to talk absolute nonsense. But because they're given an easy ride and the show want the access, they just let them on, and they just let them say whatever they want, unchallenged. And I think that is the most dangerous thing.
Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan.
And that's why they keep
Joe Rogan.
coming back.
No, but to be fair,
They keep coming back because they're allowed to, because
sorry.
they're not going to get any pushback from anybody.
No, but one thing I will say about Joe Rogan, I do regularly listen to his podcast. I do think he's a genuine, like, decent fella. He had Dave Rubin on his podcast, and Dave Rubin just shat the bed all over the place. He turned around and said, "Oh, what does the government do better than the private sector couldn't do?" And he said, "The post office." And he went, "What do you mean the post office? The post office are brilliant." And he started talking about if the private companies came in, you know, competition would kick in and prices would go down. You're like, yeah, but the post office will deliver to that rural person in the middle of nowhere, and they'll swallow the cost of it because of the rest of the institution. But you think Amazon are going to come in and do that? They're going to be like, "No, mate, that's going to be 50 quid if you want to send it out there," you know. And then he also said, "Oh, what about building regulations?" And it was like, "Oh yeah, competition would kick in." But no, you need building regulations. You can't just build a house willy-nilly. How you feel it will work. And
I want to build my house out of sticks.
Okay, well then this big bad wolf is going to fuck you up.
Brenna is over there talking about straw, but hey, for half the price, I can get you sticks.
Or if you double the price, I can sell you these breeze blocks. this insulation and these bricks, some wall ties, some roofing trusses. You can have yourself a nice house. It's going to cost you 3 times as much.
But it's a house that'll last. And it's the house that Brenna built.
No, like,
but that's what I mean. Like there are certain people that will invite certain people on for the sake of just getting numbers, and there are certain people that will challenge them people, and they'll never be seen on that show again. In the sense of, like, over here we had a guy called Jeremy Paxman, who was famously a really tough, ruling interviewer, and he would sit there and he would be stern-faced in front of anyone. He'd have someone from the Conservative, Labour, left or right-wing leaning, whatever their political persuasion, and he would grill them intensely, and he was famous for it. And it was kind of like a rite of passage for anyone who thought they were a high-profile politician. And that's what's lacking in today's media, I believe, because they just want box office, they just want clicks, they just want eyeballs, and they just want to be able to sell advertising. And I think that's to our detriment, in the sense of all we're getting now are the box office people, but the experts, you know, like we have on, are pushed to the side because they're not sexy.
all right, so you are the voice of reason on this, but for me, it's we have so many talking heads, all right, and we have people who have no relevant experience or education within the field that they're putting it, that they're giving a perspective on, but they always make sure that they put, if they have a PhD, they make sure that it says doctor before, when they are introduced to the show, but they do not disclose what kind of a doctor they are or what kind of a doctorate they have. We have people who join podcasts and they talk like they're, or TV shows that talk like they are psychiatrists or psychologists, but they really aren't. That is a protected title, but being a therapist, being this or that, or engineer or whatever, it's not a protected title. You can call yourself that. That doesn't mean that you have the education or the training to actually do the work. And so when you have like these therapist types or these guys, that could just be some bloke sitting on his couch fucking Googling shit. And that's not good enough, right? That's not good enough. That's why we try to do things in a different way.
I'll give you the perfect example, and that's the guy that Alex Jones likes to try out all the time, Dr. Groot. You look at his credentials, he's sitting there trying to sell you this silver bullet, super male vitality crap, starts going through all the, you know, using all these technical terms and that. And then you Google him, he's a fucking chiropractor. All right, mate. So you're going to tell me that this little pill here is going to, you know, make me a double R bastard? And really, all you want to do is crack me back about it. No, I ain't having it.
I love chiropractors. I wish my girl was a chiropractor, and we had a pop table and everything right here in the house. I love it. It's my favorite.
Really?
Big fan. Big fan.
Yeah, if you ever come to London, go to Soho. There are certain underground places you can pay money for that.
One-stop shop.
Oh Jesus Christ! Have you seen our comments? Because we have to address this, because this is actually one of our patrons who has posted this. So all right. So Richard writes, we should discuss the utter madness that is London's real new venture with David Ickes 5G bats and nano robo vaccine, based over $1 million over his new freedom platform for tinfoil hats.
What?
What's going on? Sorry.
I'm 30 miles out of London. I didn't know. Hang on. All right, I'm trying to find the chat.
Yeah, it's in the chat. Like, I think that we probably should have Richard on at some point. He seems to be fucking right up on this shit.
Oh, look at this cool motherfucker. Cool. With your cool ass. Boy, get your cool ass.
Who is this? Who is this? Ladies and gentlemen, we have a new entry.
This is where you talk.
Oh, I was trying to fix the settings of this.
Well, fix it, goddammit.
Yeah, like we were all ready to go when we started doing this. Took us like 5 minutes. No, we weren't. No.
Not so much now. Oh, I can switch my cameras, can't I?
Why are you echoing?
There we
Thing is,
go.
I have Cortez on a page all on his own. I can't see you guys.
Told you. Updates, man. These updates suck. Thanks,
I mean,
Zoom.
I see on the actual cast, I see everyone, but not on the page.
Oh, swipe to the right.
But Beyonce always told me to the left.
Do you always listen to Beyonce? If Beyonce told you to jump off a bridge, would you? Would you? Answer the question, Wayne.
Yeah.
Listen to her and she'll put a ring on it.
I'm not surprised. I never listened to
I
them.
think we're going a bit off topic now.
Yeah.
Welcome to the Bin Podcast.
Right. Have you never been here before? What the hell?
No.
Are you new here?
I'm usually way drunker than this at this point. Right? I'm trying to keep it down this time.
Oh, that's not good.
I'm not going to encourage, binge drinking.
Oh,
Can I
and
see
by the way,
whatever?
hold on. I'm interrupting everybody. We are also
Yes, sir.
live on YouTube right now, and we are streaming live on Mixer because I got it to fucking work.
See,
Mike.
this is the thing with Mikey. He don't say much because right now what he's doing his fucking nutty professor shit in the background, like trying to get all the YouTubes and the Facebooks.
If you could
and
see all the windows I have open right now, it is unseemly.
Awesome.
Hey Wayne, that's a nice mic you got there.
Cheers.
Jesus
innit?
Christ. Here we
So
go.
it only took you 49 minutes and 30 seconds. I got the clock ticking. Good job.
Yeah.
Oh, whoa, hold on. Stop everything. We have.
Uh-oh.
Hi, Gray.
Tiny.
Hi, baby. We need to talk about something.
Mm-hmm.
This is more important than everything else we've discussed. Have y'all seen Adele?
Yeah. Yeah, she's looking decent. Well done to her.
I bet you that motherfucker answered the phone this time. Hello, hi, Adele, hello, let me put on speaker. Hello, can you hear me?
I'm outside.
He's throwing rocks at the windows with a boombox at this point.
I was wondering if this time there was something we could talk about. No, but I've always said like Adele is super hot, but I'm kind of weird on this because when you are super talented, I instantly think that you are hot, right? Because
Yeah,
talent
for
is
sure.
the most attractive. That's the
Not
most
when you send me
attractive.
those texts.
Yes. And that's why you deleted me on Snapchat, isn't it? But the whole he didn't like the chicken videos.
Asshole. I was drinking.
No, but
Oh, God.
Adele has always been one of the most beautiful women in the world, and the fact that she's lost weight doesn't really matter to me, as long as she's got that raspy, fantastic fucking voice that she's always had. Like, I loved it when she was standing there with her big gowns and singing her songs, and she had a connection with the audience that was just absolutely fucking fantastic. Like, I was watching this on telly and I could see the emotion in her eyes singing her songs, and that was like her 300th concert over like 18 months. Like, fuck yeah, like I'm all on board, and if she feels better now and if she's happy now, fuck, I'm fine with it. But do I think she's hotter now? No, because her looks was just like 50% for me. Her talent, no, that was.
The thing is, she's one of them women. It's like you see her up on stage, and then as soon as she starts talking, you're like, let's go and have a beer.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But she's not the first singer to just like dramatically drop weight. And I might be aging or dating myself here, but Luther Vandross did that like what 6 or 7 times, where he was this big old boy, and then he came back and he was me, and it was like, oh, that is him. I can see it in the face.
The difference is, you notice how like when it's a bloke that does it, it's all like, oh, look how great he looks now, well done, right? And this is the thing that really annoys me again about the media, or social media mainly, is she loses weight and everyone's like, oh, she looks so much better when she was bigger. How can this girl win? How can she win? You know what I mean?
That is, I've seen that too, and that is so fucking wrong. And all of you guys who like even dare to fucking think that is just fuck you. Just fuck you all the way to the moon and back. Just go and fucking die behind a bad fucking rock, because that's where you fucking belong.
Harsh.
What's a bad rock?
Little harsh.
Yeah, so the views and opinions of me are only
There
the
we
views and
go.
opinion of me, and it does not reflect the views and opinion of anybody else on this call.
We should have a board or something we just hold up.
Yeah.
Disclaimer. If Jartan's talking, just fucking ignore it.
No, but
Oh,
the
you know
point
what?
is-
I can get my green screen going, so then every time Jartan
Yes.
starts going off, I'll just put that video as my virtual background.
Yeah.
Look, I'm on the lazy side of not doing my green screen again. Zoom keeps changing it and taking it off.
Yeah.
Is it? Can it do that?
Oh yeah, I'll get it out of there.
No, Zoom
Yeah.
can't take green screen off.
I don't really care about Brenna's.
Yikes! Here we go.
What
Here it
did you
comes.
do? No,
Hang on,
her
what's the
picture
Brenna?
just. Yeah, no, she disappeared and she's back again.
It's okay. Glitch.
No, I don't really care about Adele's weight. What I care about is that she keeps making those fantastic songs that even makes a metalhead cry. I
Whatever,
fucking
you Bet Midler fan.
Wait, yeah, no, we all know the truth.
Yeah. Right, again.
You are a softie.
You
for
you
those
like
that
to
can't
appear
see,
soft or like a hard ass. We know better. We just
Those
know
listening
better.
in the audio realm, Jartan is bearded, tattooed, metalhead looking, Harley Davidson riding, chicken fucking softie. True fact.
Do you hear anybody arguing with you at all? Even me?
So that's why I'm
Nope.
enjoying the dead air.
Nope.
I'm enjoying the dead air.
So no, but the point is like Adele makes beautiful music. Great, I love her voice. I think she's a fantastic singer. If she feels better now, if she's more happier now than she was earlier, fine. Fuck it. It doesn't change how I feel about the music that she's already done, and doesn't change how I view her. So for me, it's fuck all. Like, yeah, go on, you girl. Fucking go ahead.
Yeah,
Do whatever makes you happy.
exactly. Jartan, are you trying to justify something?
No.
It's alright, we're all friends here, we're all progressives here.
So let's change lanes a little bit, and I don't want to talk about the Roni,
Yeah.
but
Let's be clear on that this week. Fuck's sake.
Yeah, no Steve Carino for me.
Yeah. Well played, Cortez. He
Wait.
watches Wrestle Talk.
Oh my God, do we have a hot tag? Is that a hot tag out of nowhere? No one saw it coming. Y'all got some wrestling news for our wrestling peoples?
Nah, not really. Not today.
Perfect. Let's do that every week.
He called for a hot tag.
I know, you have to do that one. You have to do that one. Come on, you can't just hang it over your shoulder. You have to do this. Come on,
Yeah,
Cortez.
What?
The pose.
Hold up. Oh.
Yeah, all right. There you go, yeah.
thing is, there's no wrestling, so there's no wrestling. There's
Well, actually, AEW was live last night for the first time at Daly's Plaza, and we had the debut of a bunch of new characters. I'm not going to say those characters' names, and I'm not going to shout them out because they don't follow us or Patreon us. So that's some incentive. What I will say though is there are some great things that that happened at the live show. They pretended as if the show was going on without people being there, which was pretty good, to be honest, because that's been lacking in a lot of the wrestling events that have been going on, where it's pre-taped or edited, I should say, at an earlier time, and it gives people hope for the future, especially sports fans and sports entertainment fans.
Well, any sports really, because they're talking about finishing off the Premier League behind closed doors, and
yes,
there's a lot of people that are skeptical about it, because how can you safely have social distancing when you're trying to tackle the ball from someone's feet?
And I know about tackling.
Meters.
Tackling you.
There you go, and this sort of plays into the whole business that's going on now, where all the lockdowns are looking to be lifted. But
so here's the thing that's going on today. Right today, the NBA is having a meeting with all the players on a video conference call for every player that's signed in the NBA, not the G League, the regular National Basketball Association. And the NBA is trying to plan on finding a way to get facilities reopened for the players to train, because they've been out of training for 2.5 months, and that's an entire period of time for players that it takes 4 months for them to get ready again. So they're going to see what they're going to do. As far as the NFL goes, they're still messing up as usual. I mean, they're pretending as if nothing is going on. They're already releasing the schedule tomorrow, so we're going to see what happens.
But to zoom out on that, right? Does that not show that the whole thing of trying to get people back playing football, people back to work, is purely an economic thing rather than a health and safety thing? Because there was a guy who leaked, Texas senator, I believe, who his audio was leaked of him saying, if we open everything up, there's going to be a second spike. But
yeah, for sure.
Everyone's worried about the economy. They're not worried about lives. And as we know, Boris Johnson and Donald Trump both value the economy, and they're sort of like the economic figures as a barometer for how good their premiership has been. So do you not feel that this kind of lockdown lifting is kind of just to get a spike in two things? You're going to get a spike in the virus, and you're going to get a spike in economic numbers.
Well, it happened in Georgia. Georgia opened up last week, and they've had a spike in cases since they opened up.
Well, there you go. Case in point.
Who'd have thunk?
Yeah.
Atlanta alone's got 2,500 cases. That's me rounding for everyone that's being specific.
And it's again like the rest of the WWE has been labelled as an essential service.
Florida, man.
In Florida,
Florida man.
And the only reason being is Linda McMahon.
Country.
Linda McMahon is in Trump's administration.
Yep.
Yes. And now Vince is too.
Yeah.
Lord.
Exactly.
Vince got hired 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, he was on that conference call about all the sports, really, all the NBA and the NFL.
Yeah, he's like in charge of it all. So now they're both in the administration, and Linda runs his super PAC as well.
Yeah, so basically, it's all bollocks. It's all about just getting the money and getting bumped on seats, and not really caring about the people that are involved.
Well, look at what WWE did during the initial stages of this. They continued putting on shows.
Mm-hmm.
They put on shows without the proper equipment or safety precautions that were being taken. They weren't quarantining people originally. They're even upset with one of their premier wrestlers right now because he pulled out. Thank you. He pulled out of the show because he's had leukemia twice, and his immune system is severely compromised.
God damn.
And they wanted him to be a part of a 2-night WrestleMania, as well as subsequent shows every week, 2+ shows and tapings. Tapings could take a week long. The WWE WrestleMania taping took 2 weeks for that 6-hour show they did for the 2 episodes, 2 days.
Within that microcosm of Vince McMahon and Roman Reigns, does that not kind of show in the macro that it's all about we just need to get people doing stuff?
Well, yeah, they
Butts
brought
and
AJ
seats.
Styles back early, and Roman has been edited out of everything, including even mentioning his name in
the commentary. Yeah,
like they showed a match where they blacked out his face of him getting pinned for Seth Rollins' Money in the Bank cash-in.
But I didn't say that. Is that real?
Yeah. Yes, they blacked his face out.
God!
Like they did the same thing they did with Ronda Rousey and Becky's bad pin at WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So they just blacked the screen out, and then the next scene is a flash of the new champion. They did the same thing. They didn't even show Roman. They didn't show Roman's stomps. They didn't show him getting F5 by Brock Lesnar. They just pretended as the match was Seth Rollins and Brock Lesnar, and there was an imaginary character that Brock Lesnar was fighting at WrestleMania.
But how funny is it that you look at that particular incident, and then you put that as a blanket over the whole American economy, in the sense of this bloke with all the money wants you to hurt yourself so he can look good. And that's pretty much where it is. Trump's telling all the states to go and open up, and some of them, I mean, there was a group of Republicans that did that video where they cited a old Reagan video, or an old Reagan slogan, and they were basically digging out Trump, and then he started tweeting about them. He went on a massive tweet storm about
he attacked George Bush and a bunch of other people too.
Yeah, purely because they weren't following, his leadership, or just going against him, questioning him, undermining him.
I don't know how he thinks that George Bush would try to make him look bad, just because George Bush says to stop tweeting things. We're talking about fool me, can't get fooled again, George Bush.
Well, I can't get fooled me 3 times. Well, I can't get fooled again.
What did he say? He said, there's an old saying in Tennessee. He's from Texas. He's from Texas. There's an old saying down in Tennessee that you fooled me once.
Shame on you, me.
Yeah, shame on me. Fool me twice. Fool me, can't get fooled again. I'm like, you're from Texas.
Oh, bless you.
My favorite Bushism is talking about the French economy. The problem with the French is that they don't have a word for entrepreneur. That was our president.
You guys picked up.
Yo, but
Yeah, but it's not
I missed
really it. Trade it up, is it?
I really that's what I was about to say. I'm really missing the shit out of old Bushy right now. I'll take a little Bush right now. Come on, Bush.
Normal.
Right, he was
he was just normal.
At least Bush was a person. I don't know what the hell this Chester Cheeto android we got right now.
No, platypus that some type of evolved platypus that we got. Let me explain something about President Bush's presidency, okay? President Bush might have been a puppet. It's a possibility he might have been a puppet. But if there's anything that I always thought about this my entire life, is the fact that Dick Cheney shot someone in the face, and that person got on national television and apologized for Dick Cheney shooting him in the face. He said, "I'm sorry that I brought so much pain to your family."
That's some serious power.
With bandages on his face from being shot.
When you can get shot in the face.
To be fair, it was bird shot. So don't be dramatic, Cortez. I mean, come on.
I'm not gonna bird shot you in your face.
Hell no. Have me looking like Harvey Dent.
Dude was up there looking like he had all types of psoriasis. and everything that was going on from getting shot in the face. Half his face was burned off.
Yeah, those
Yeah.
little pellets are hot as fuck.
Yeah.
Nah, bro.
Could
No,
you
thank
imagine being there when it happened? Like, boom, shot you in the face. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. You shot me.
That is not my first reaction. My first reaction is, where the fuck is my gun? Motherfucker gonna shoot
Yeah.
me? It's ought to be under here somewhere.
Was there only one gun? Because I definitely would have turned around and been like, all right.
Oh, we shooting now. Oh, we shooting people?
It was supposed to be taking him down to the woodshed, but it all went horribly.
Do I look like a pheasant?
Say I look like a pheasant,
Whoa, whoa, whoa,
motherfucker.
calm down, calm down.
Then why you try to shoot me like one?
You kind of look like a chicken.
And there we go back to the chickens.
So I
Hold on,
actually,
we have a break. We have a break. Someone said hi.
Hello.
hi, baby.
Everybody say, "Hey, Gracie."
She likes when
Gracie.
everyone
Hi, Gracie.
waves. Yeah,
Oh,
there we
that's
go.
it. I like that. Oh,
She is the best.
Cortez, can Gracie do a too sweet? Let's see if we can get that up. Gracie,
Oh,
Gracie, look. Can we do it? You want to do it with me this time? She does. I don't know why she's not doing it now.
because she's a girl.
Come on, Gracie.
Come on, give me a too sweet.
Should have had a son.
No, doing it. She's done.
Say something. All right.
I have a second point.
Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
We're not done yet.
Go for it.
We're deep in the weeds. So with all of this Roni bullshit that's going on, one thing that's kind of
Steve Carino.
Steve Carino. One thing that keeps being overlooked in my eyes is, especially with essential workers, is HIPAA rights.
What now?
HIPAA rights.
Yeah, they're an endangered species. You
What's
have to.
different?
I fucking hate you. HIPAA, that is the HPAA privacy rule, and that establishes national standards to protect individuals' medical records and other personal health information, and applies to health plans, healthcare clearinghouses, and those healthcare providers that could conduct certain healthcare transactions electronically. So that literally means that your medical business is your business. And it is illegal for you to share someone else's medical business. There are dire consequences for these things. Okay.
Mate. NHS, I ain't got a fucking clue what you're talking about.
Well, this is just something that's saying, like, even if you go to the, like, say, Wayne, I know you've been going to Dr. Johnson to get that little blue pill. Dr. Johnson is not allowed to go out on social media saying, "Hey, I just had Wayne Lynch in here."
Wait. You've met Sienna, and there's another one on the way. All right, so don't.
I
talk to me
also
about it.
mentioned
Oh,
Dr.
shit.
Johnson. I don't see where I've mischaracterized anything here.
All right, seedless.
But seedless by choice.
All right, yeah, keep telling yourself that.
If I was firing blanks, I'd be a totally different kind of guy, let me tell you.
Oh, let's go ask Baby what she feels about that.
She'll be here shortly. She's out.
Yeah.
She's out buying me
You're
potting
brilliant.
soil for my new oak tree I bought.
I'm a virgin, so I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, human virgin. Isn't it?
Never tasted woman flesh. But pretty much what HIPAA does is it protects anybody in the medical field from sharing your personal information when you go into the office. Like, if a nurse can't talk about how she saw you, Cortez, and Bob had this, Cortez had that, and you had this. And then she can't talk about that without legal repercussions. I think a lot of that is being lost in this new era that we find ourselves in. A lot of people are telling a lot of people's personal business. Like a lot.
No. Sorry, like you don't have like patient-doctor privilege, confidentiality.
But it goes past the doctor because it's even the
of
nurses
course it
and
does. Everybody who works there has to sign a confidentiality
right.
agreement.
And the name for that that umbrella term is HIPAA. I forgot what it stood for that quick.
Yeah, no, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. All right, yeah, but you do have that, right? So, but they're not having that anymore, or what the fuck?
A lot of people, especially right, a lot of people, especially who are essential workers, have been put in the position where they are now screening their coworkers. So a lot of people's personal business is getting out there that should not be getting out there.
Okay, all right. I just don't think that should ever be a problem in any field. Like what you do in your job, you never talk about that outside of the workplace, right? That's fucking the same for me. Like I drive fucking trucks, but it's not like I can advertise that I'm hauling liquor worth like 5 million fucking quid this month. I can't.
Would that make it to where it's supposed to be?
Right.
No, if I advertise that, somebody would rob that truck, or I'm holding TV, or I'm holding that. You're not allowed to do that.
You ever seen the Fast and the Furious? That's what happens when you talk too much.
Yeah, that's what happens when you talk too much. And I don't like this. Is not. No, this shouldn't be a thing. You don't talk about this. Right? What you do at your workplace, yes, of course you talk to your partner. Yes, I have breached confidentiality with my partner at certain points when I've been distressed or angry.
Allegedly. What are you doing? Stop it. Allegedly.
I don't work in fucking health services anymore.
Allegedly you did these things, right?
I might have. Allegedly.
Right. Thank you. That's all.
I'm trying to fucking save you, Aaron.
Jesus, I'm like, Judge, we're gonna put the shovel down. It's like, no, I got a bigger one behind me. It's like, no, put the damn shovel down.
Allegedly,
yes,
I might have done that. Yes,
right. Allegedly,
and of course I never have. But I could have, but I never have.
You had the opportunity, but you never took that opportunity. So,
yes. But what I'm trying to say is, this should not be a thing at all. If you screen your neighbor, like if your fucking neighbor came in and had an STD, you would never tell his wife, would you?
You shouldn't.
How would you know?
If he told you.
Oh, you say.
People can speak.
Allegedly.
Look what happens.
Allegedly.
But Mikey, look what happens when we let him speak. He libels himself.
Yeah, we're gonna switch off of Jartan in a second. Here goes somebody else because Jartan's trying to get us locked up. All of us.
This friend of mine.
I am not associated with these people.
I'm in the UK. We're no longer part of Europe, so leave me.
No extradition treaties for fucking.
You keep that F the shit alone as well.
No, speaking of Brexit, there's like this what's that called?
Don't you change the topic.
Those things petitions they want to remove Chicago from Illinois.
Oh Jesus!
Yo, let us be our own state.
Yeah, they want Illinois to separate from Chicago and have Chicago be its own little small state.
Yo,
hey, we actually had at one point on our election ballot, they had to remove it because it's illegal. But they got petitions for separating California into 3 different states.
I'm with that.
I've heard that they're trying to make LA and LA County its own state.
Well, what they did was they wanted to do like Northern California and then Central California and then Southern California into its own separate, with a little bit of
North
valley,
Dakota, South
so that there would be more conservative representation.
Right.
Of the California area versus the more liberal representation. So, of course, we cannot split California. So that was to actually it was removed from the ballot.
I have a dear.
That's not legal.
I have a dear friend who is
It's very illegal. Yeah.
She's a historical oracle, they call her. I would love for her to come on one day. I'll get in contact with her to see what she would think about because all the states weren't always, what they are now. Things have changed. historically, how did that happen, and what was some of the fallout for that? So like North Dakota and South Dakota weren't always that. You know what I mean? Oh, Brenna has just alerted us that her gardeners are there.
Brenna, is that code?
Oh, the gardener. Yo, the gardener got the best weeds.
I'm just saying it's gonna be really loud. So
No, he got that
microphone.
leaf blower. You know what I'm talking about. He got that leaf blower. You ain't ready for that.
I'm not leaving the video.
It's
I'm
mad
just
loud.
leaving the audio.
Yo, that leaf blower is loud. You see what I'm saying?
But-
Loud
Gardens are
leaf
here to
blower.
mow my lawn.
Was it your doorbell or my doorbell?
Yes.
That's not an answer.
No, I think there's somebody at my door. I'll be back.
Was that my doorbell or your doorbell? Yes. What?
His question didn't make sense. I didn't give him an answer that made sense.
Okay, then. We're going off the rails again, aren't we?
But anyway,
Yes,
it was somebody at his doorbell. I bet it's Dr. Emma.
Wait a second. What just happened
Oh,
here?
this is
Isn't
gonna be
it like
sweet.
midnight where he is?
That's gonna be awesome if it's Dr. Emma.
Jarksan's screen looks like a phone saver right now, or screensaver right now.
Yeah,
Yeah, it looks like
With
some
the-
clip
with the
art.
Smoke.
like a seedy hotel.
We need some sound effects and some background music for that. Oh,
Where's that beer delivered?
Yeah. I'm.
I love
I've
your
got-
street. I want to move there.
I got a guest. From our comment section, Nicholas with the Britney Spears comments. Right?
Hey, Niklaus!
So Nicholas, he was just like, "Why the fuck am I sitting 3 houses over?"
Oh,
So-
hello.
Nicholas.
Interloper.
This is Nicholas.
Hello, Nicholas.
Hi.
Yeah.
Hello, mate. What's up, man? How are you?
Welcome.
How you doing, mate? Jartan, get some other headphones, man.
Yeah, don't you have 2 sets? Get some earbuds or something.
So, Nicholas,
He anticipated this.
Yeah.
what dirt have you got to give us on
Yes.
Jartan?
Yes. What do
Sorry,
you
Bob.
have?
Bob,
On Shotgun.
yeah. Oh, you said it as well now.
Tell him he can't say your name because it's a contest.
That's
Tell him.
Norwegian.
Oh, let him. Well, either way.
Jartan, can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. Right. All right.
Okay.
I don't have a splitter. Give me a second.
Was that-
It's not-
No, it's fine. We don't want to hear. We don't want to talk to you anymore. Just let him know not to say your name for the contest. And he fucking takes his fucking headphones off. This is the fucking amateurs I have to deal with.
Hear you now.
It's all right, Mikey. What I'll do is I'll open the window and shout.
Send a raven.
I got me a squadron of carrier pigeons.
Why is it that Americans still think that like English and like
He doesn't
culture
give it.
are still like
He doesn't get it right
people
either,
talk?
though.
Say that again, Cortez.
I've had so many American people that I know think that Europe still is in medieval times. Like you guys don't even have running water.
They are.
Oh, yeah.
They are. Look at Wayne.
About. Yeah, well, with me fitted kitchen and me golden mic and all that caper. Yeah. Back
Look
to
at
the
him.
time.
Look at him up on his ivory tower, looking down on the plebeians below.
Exactly.
What do they
I'll
know?
feed them crumbs from my table.
Let them eat cake is what Sienna's first words were. I remember Wayne tweeting that to me.
Sienna's first words were, "Where's my cake?"
Cake? Cake?
Pretty much.
Fucking Soldier Boy. Cortez.
Oh,
Cake?
No, but
Cake?
alright, so to get back up on topic, so
Also,
are
soldier.
people breaking that confidentiality agreement?
Yes.
So the thing is, there's a lot of people who have been thrusted into this position who are not medical professionals, who do not know how to keep people's information to themselves. And they're just talking like they're talking. Like, there's been a few cases that I know of personally where someone has gotten sick just sick, like just the cold or anything like that, and they take some time from work. And within hours, that job place knows all about that person's illness. That is a violation of HIPAA rights. So, and I know that there's been people that have gone on leave for multiple different reasons. How the hell does everyone... No, you're good. How the hell does everyone know what that person went on leave for? Unless there's been a violation of those HIPAA rights.
All right. So, Nicholas here works at a retirement home, right? And the old people.
Don't say which one.
No, allegedly. And what he says is that.
Let him say it.
Well, you can say it, for fuck's sake.
Yeah. You covered his face, asshole.
So domineering.
Jeez, there we go. Perfect.
It takes about 5 minutes and everybody knows it.
Yeah.
Everybody knows it. It's
Is
gossip.
that just from gossiping?
Is it better when you have your regular workers on?
No,
It's the same.
it doesn't count.
Doesn't matter.
And that's... Oh, go ahead, Wayne.
I didn't say it.
Oh, I thought I heard you. And that's a problem because
Yeah,
there's
of
a
course.
reason why we set all this shit up in the first place. And I think most countries have something similar wherever that place is. People's personal health information is just that. No one else is privy to it. You don't have to tell anybody something you heard about so-and-so. So for everybody watching, do the earth a favor. Don't gossip about people's health. Just don't.
Nicholas, I have a question based on where you work, because there's a massive scandal over here about care homes and retirement homes and all that kind of stuff with the spread of the virus and the fact that we're just letting people go in willy-nilly because basically our care system is agency workers going in and out, flitting between different properties and infecting the fuck out of everyone. How does it work in Sweden?
What's the question?
Yeah, I lost the question too.
How does it work in Sweden with regards to how they've protected the retirement homes and the care homes?
We're on lockdown now.
Yeah, but what I mean is, are they allowing people in and
No,
out?
we don't allow anything. Nobody comes in unless you work there.
Can you phone Boris Johnson for me? Have a word.
But one of the issues that Sweden had that was that Corona got into old folks' homes and retirement homes.
A couple of them.
Yeah, and
We locked out everything.
yeah,
after that.
but this is more of a problem in the south. It's not such a big problem here, though, right? In Stockholm and in the bigger cities, that has been a real big problem. That's why we have really bad fucking numbers as well, because you got into a retirement home and it didn't in Norway or Finland or Denmark. Problem is, Sweden has a different system where there's a lot of private caregivers.
Yeah.
And they have people working under different conditions. They're working on a contract or through a temp firm or something like that.
Yeah, that's
And you
what-
get
that's
so
what
you
we've
get
got.
so you got more people coming in and out. It's not the same people employed. You have people coming in temping and stuff like that, right?
Yeah,
Norway
that's what
has
we've
this.
got.
Yeah, it's less privatized in Norway and Finland and Denmark than it is in Sweden. And as soon as you start bringing in, the more people you bring into the retirement home, the bigger the chance of Corona getting in there, right? So what you want to do is not only limit the amount of people who visit, but also the amount of people who work there, how many different people get in and out.
But what's really been happening over here is you've got a lot of temporary and agency staff that are shared amongst a pool of homes. So that one person who may be working in that home with no one who has any issues, then goes to one where there is an issue, and then just flips about between them all because there's no screening whatsoever. Infects a whole bunch of people, and as soon as they started introducing the care home numbers to our death rates, we're now like we're top of Europe now. Yeah, well done us. We've got the most dead people because we're fucking amazing.
Yeah. So
that's why I wanted to get a Swedish perspective of it from again. Jartem, seriously, what's going on down your road? You got doctors and people that work in care homes.
Yep.
And then there's you.
And then there's me. All right. Just real quick, I'm gonna screen share here. This is how Nicholas looks when he works.
Double R. I'm here to give you your suppository.
Yep.
And you will take it.
Of course I would. You know me. No, but
Go on.
the point I'm trying to make is that it doesn't matter if you limit visitors if you have 30 or 40 people coming in and out on an hourly basis, or a lot of people are not working there and then they're going out and they're doing their regular business and then they come back after 2 weeks and then they start working again, because you have to screen them every time. Just because you didn't have corona last week doesn't mean you don't have corona and yet that you're asymptomatic this week.
Yeah.
Right? So if we're doing that, even the healthcare workers have to kind of self-quarantine, and then you have to limit the amount of people going in and out. And that's the big problem, right? Because people have kids, and in Norway and Sweden and Denmark, Norway and Finland and Denmark, they closed down the schools. Sweden did not do that, and a lot of healthcare workers have kids. So the kids can come home, be asymptomatic, have corona with them, give corona to the parents who go and work in a care home.
Was that a big problem?
Yeah, it's a big problem, because, and that's why Sweden is pushing like 28 people per 100,000, and Norway is stable at 4.
What's your population? Just out of interest.
In Sweden, it's 10 million, roughly 10.5, approximately. It's like London, mate.
Yeah, exactly. That's no one, especially over that massive size as well.
Yeah, and since we're up north, right, we have, I think, under 200 confirmed cases of corona where we live in our region. I don't know what the sex is. 186, right?
180.
It's 180. 180. Yeah, 180 up here. But if you go to the south, where the population is more dense, there's a totally different figure, right?
To give you a contrast in that, that's lower than the number of people that have died of it in my local hospital.
Yeah. How many people have died here? Is it like 7, 8?
I think it's
in our region?
9 or 10.
Yeah, 9 or 10 people in our region, but it's very sparsely. Like, we live just 15 miles outside the biggest city in this region, and that city has like 105,000 inhabitants, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's the biggest city in the north of Sweden.
Well, I predict the next pandemic is going to break out in your region of Sweden, and it's going to come from it jumping from a chicken to a human.
A bit of chicken flu?
Are you obsessed
Fuck you.
with this weekend?
Huh?
These chickens. What's up with all these chickens?
If you was here every week in, week out, you'd understand.
You don't even no fuck you, Curtis. You don't even listen to your own fucking podcast. Are you fucking serious right now? I shared this shit with you. Listen to the shit that I fucking shared with you, and shut the fuck up before you start asking fucking questions. All right, mate?
Fine.
Come on.
But I was here when we weren't live, so Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
That's right.
Jartan's gimmick. Jartan's.
We had one viewer. from like our whole first podcast.
I think that was.
I think that was me. Yeah, it was him. It was him.
I forgot to log off.
No, but so alright. So just the fact that we have like a bleed from confidentiality will always be a problem, right? But the more workers you bring in, the more workers you don't understand the rules around that, the bigger the problem becomes. And when you have to bring in people who never worked in healthcare, of course the problem is going to be bigger, but
Vi får in mycket icke-skit.
I think the biggest issue around the whole situation is just complacency.
what was that, mate?
Complacency.
Complacency. People are just like, whatever. Because I'm telling you now, I've been at work today, and it was like a normal day, just like a normal day out on the street. People just carrying on as normal. Roads a lot busier than they have been. And we've got a bank holiday tomorrow, VE Day, but people are already uninitiated. That's Victory in Europe Day. So tomorrow is 75 years after we declared victory in Europe over the Nazis back in World War II. It's a big bank holiday, and it's going to be really warm. And being as we are British, anytime it's warm, we've got to be outside. And there's going to be, traditionally would be a VE Day, the street parties and drinking and everyone having a good time and everything. So there's also talk of Boris relaxing the lockdown rules on Sunday, but he's also saying this weekend you've got to stick to the rules. So he's talking out of both sides of his mouth effectively. So tomorrow, big celebration, but everyone's supposed to stay in. I saw people putting bunting up on my way home today. It's going to be, everyone's going to be everywhere, and I would say watch the stats from Britain 2 weeks from tomorrow, because I sense there's going to be a big spike. People just not going to bother paying any attention to any of the rules because it's VE Day, we do what we like, and it goes back to that English exceptionalism that we have. So
yeah, so VE Day is going to be like VECKY Day.
Okay, so
Victory Europe Corona Kills You Day.
Yeah.
CKY was a decent band back in the day.
Corona Kills You. Moving on, because
some of the music didn't age well.
Yep.
Our good friend Cortez has some real good conversation for us. What's it about, Cortez?
Oh, okay, that was a segue.
Yeah.
Yes.
It was a bad one, but it was still one.
It's even better when you're listening to them.
All right, so
Still counts.
There are some musicians and famous people that are socially famous, I should say. I call them socially famous now because the definition of fame has changed over time, and that's mostly due to social media and the internet and everybody doing it all the time. We ain't talking about them right now. But we got Alice in Wonderland and Louis the Child, okay? And if you guys aren't familiar with them, Alice in Wonderland is still cool in my book. I'm not going to talk about the other one. But they had a, if one of you is handy with the mouse and key, please screen share the Twitter exchange between Louis and Alice in Wonderland.
I'm on my way.
I'll make a drink. Y'all do that.
Our Josh going to just pass you one through the screen. Health kick.
I also want to do a little bit of bragging while he's looking that up real quick. I finally got my triple display shit going on right now. I'm ecstatic.
I'm happy for you.
That's
I'm
awesome.
super happy.
I'm happy for us.
Yes.
Yeah, this
That's
isn't
gonna
so
be
much
great.
for me. This is so much for.
I'm happy for you too.
So let me see how to fix this because it's not showing your what's it called on.
It's
on
not
what's it
showing
called.
on screen share.
It's not showing it on YouTube, but sorry guys. If you guys want to see what he's screen sharing, then please go over to Facebook. I'm not doing this today. I've got too much going
All
on.
right. Yeah. So
Yes,
I'm
Facebook is
screen
showing
sharing,
it.
what's going on in this conversation, Kurdish?
So this conversation was talking about racism and what's been going on over the last few weeks on developments of people getting murdered in the United States. And the conversation, we're picking up from there. You know, they're telling her it's not okay to hate anyone. There's no reason to hate people. It's okay to not like people, blah, blah, blah. She goes, unless you're racist or... well, yeah, that moved it. I was reading it. Yeah, let's say rapists or racist. And Lewis goes, I think you can still love people you hate. And she says, I hate Hitler. And he says, hating Hitler does nothing for you. You hold on to hatred if you want. Keeping people safe right now is different than hating a dead person. And she says, he killed half of my family. And he says, your hatred's going to bring them back. And I'm going to liken this to my thoughts. So, full disclaimer, these are my personal thoughts. They do not, everyone does not have to share my thoughts and my feelings on this, but I'm going to say it the way that I'm going to say it. And this
Views and opinion of Cortez does not reflect the views and opinions of the Bin podcast or
Yeah,
any
hang
of
on,
the
hang on.
participants of this call.
Cortez, before you go there, can you imagine if Jesse and Brittany actually copyright infringes on that one?
Oh God.
that would be hilarious.
I'll use their own fucking voices. I'll cut up and slice their shit. I wish they would. I will edit the shit out of their shit and use their own voices from and the
Get some
other
of that
day.
Patreon money.
Hell yeah.
Jesus fucking Christ! I paid them fuckers like $10 a month for fucking 5 years. I can fucking stay.
Yeah,
off
we're
the fucking-
stealing it. Bum 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 bum.
I think we technically
I would
own
give-
Popeye.
I will
Alright,
give
but-
you
yeah,
guys
but-
the disclaimer, okay? This is for anyone that is the weak of hearts.
He's our dog.
Watching the Bin podcast right now, I'm gonna say some things that could necessarily make you not like me very much, but it's okay because we can't agree to disagree in the long run because we are adults. Now, I'm gonna say that I don't want your Lucky Charms.
I don't disagree with that.
They're magically fucking delicious, you asshole.
Wait a second.
Hold on.
I don't trust Cortez no more.
Let's get the Lucky Charms.
She brought me Lucky Charms in this jar. I'm like, what?
You're welcome.
Always after be Lucky Charms, okay?
They're magically fucking delicious, you ungrateful fucking savage.
And Brenna, I think that was slightly racist towards us.
So
Race isn't a thing, Wayne. You shut your ass up.
Ooh.
Now who's getting spicy? I'm drinking rum.
Oh.
Oh, watch out, Captain Morgan's here.
you missed it, Wayne. She actually did it while you were gone. We should do it again.
All right. So,
Nope. She's
we're
doing
still
it.
waiting. for what
okay,
what
so now
happens
the-
after
okay.
the
Now, after that preamble, the partial of the reason that we don't get along with a lot of people in this country all the time is because every time something happens, people always want to say,
Who's
"It's in
we?
the past."
Who's we?
We, as in the majority of people of African American descent, or I can call black folk.
Blacks.
Okay. So they always say, "Get over it. It happened in the past. Let's just live and let live. Let it go. You can't hate. You can't hate people for hating you. You can't dislike people who don't like you." Let me explain this to you really quick. We have people who are upset about the Holocaust, which was the 1940s and the 30s, that we're talking about right now. World War II, which we do celebrate all of the victories every year in majority of the countries that won, and some of them that don't by mandate. We have Jim Crow era, which, man, that just ended. You know, and you still
Literally.
have lots of Jim Crow hangovers who are still in positions of power in our government. Anytime you have senior citizens, let's call it for what it is here. We are voting on senior citizens to run a new country and lay the foundation for our future. So, of course, there are people who are in their 20s who think this way. Of course, there are people who are in their teens who think this way because the people who are in charge are just passing down that shite that they were taught in the mid 1900s. Let me explain this to people. My people could not vote for a long time. Women could not vote for a long time.
No, hold on. Let's do this by points. So Wayne, what say you to the fact that most of the people who are longtime advocates for civil rights couldn't vote at the on side of it? Like in the beginning, they couldn't even vote for civil rights.
For me, this is the thing. This is where it gets really, really
Really, what?
Difficult.
Oh, okay.
I'll tell you for why. Because obviously, the Civil Rights Act was not that long ago. My mum was alive when the Civil Rights Act was passed, and at the same time, my grandparents were alive when the Holocaust happened. And what seems to happen is, and this is just anecdotal on my behalf. I'm not taking any side or anything. One gets highlighted and one gets dismissed. And going to Cortez's point, that was in the past. Let it alone, so to speak. But at the same point, this was also in the past, but we need to keep talking